Hello all, I'm Abgemacht, Editor-in-Chief of Web Diplomacy, and this is the second episode of webDip Highlights. First we're going to do a quick recap of the game, and then we're going to speak with our expert panel to see what they have to say. So, in 1901, Germany bounces Russia out of Sweden, while all three Western powers bounce in Belgium. Austria attempts a silent Key Lepanto, but Italy isn't interested. Turkey manages to take Black Sea, while Russia opens strongly to the south. In 1902, France mobilizes his fleets against England despite building in Marseille, but is forced to seek peace when Italy starts to send fleets up to Iberia. Germany takes this opportunity to take both Belgium and Sweden, although he loses Holland to England. Austria has lost most of his centers, but manages to sneak into an undefended Venice. Turkey captures Sevastopol while maintaining control over the Balkans. By 1903, Italy has gone into civil disorder, allowing France to get a build from Tunis and Russia builds from Austria proper. Turkey has created a defensible position in the Balkans and begins positioning himself for expansion. England is forced to disband after his bid to support Russia into Sweden fails for the third time in a row. In 1904, Italy is eliminated, having given both France and Turkey massive opportunities for growth. Russia takes the rest of Austria proper and attempts to form a juggernaut. Austria is left with only one undefended center in Venice. England attempts to make amends with both France and Germany, as Germany positions himself to move against both England and France. In 1905, Germany loses Norway to Germany and retreats into St. Petersburg, while Germany loses Munich to Russia. France pushes Germany out of Burgundy and builds more fleets to move against England. The juggernaut breaks down as Turkey swaps his fleets into Sevastopol for an army and takes Trieste. Austria manages to move his last remaining unit into Venice. In 1906, Turkey begins his northern ascent into the heart of Russia, who is forced to end his attack on Germany. England decides to stop defending against France to attempt to take a piece of northern Germany. In 1907, France takes Liverpool, and England disbands St. Petersburg to defend what remains of his home centers. Turkey begins to surround Italy, which is now wholly controlled by France. No longer needing to worry about Russia, Germany begins to position all of his fleets against England. In 1908, England is reduced to one center, and Russia two. Turkey begins sending all of his fleets west, making it all the way to western Mediterranean in North Africa. By 1909, the game is drawn, barely leaving England and Russia on the board, with Turkey in a commanding position and a potential solo risk. And with us now is Chaqa. He was the organizer of the most recent Gunboat School of War. So thank you for coming on. And do you want to give us your thoughts on this game?
So, I think the one way to describe this game was messy. I'm not a fan of the English opening. Not so much the initial moves. I think they're fine. It's what happened in the fall. When you open to the Channel and North Sea, that's pretty much saying that you're going to be involved in the West more than Scandinavia. So I think there's a big mistake in not... there's two options that I would have considered. Either a hard convoy into Belgium, supported by the North Sea and the English Channel, or taking Norway and convoying the army to Brest, which couldn't be done in this situation because of the way the army moves. So I think that it was a mistake not to completely go for Belgium. I think France also had a bad opening, because the move to Spain in the spring it kind of pigeonholes you into playing a specific way, where you can't guard against every enemy you might be facing. So a more conventional opening, such as supporting Paris and the Burgundy, it lets you cover against Germany better, and also protects you against Italy. I like what Germany did. It's pretty standard. He didn't really do anything wrong. There's an argument to move back to Munich instead of to Belgium, but usually if France moves to Munich and takes it, you can take it back anyway. So I think he did okay, and his follow-up moves were amazing. I think Germany had the most solid play in the game. With Russia, pretty much an okay game. And the opening was great. He tried to get Sweden and Romania, and I think that it's probably okay for Germany to keep Russia out of Sweden in that situation. Usually, as Germany, I let Russia into Sweden because it's better to have a friend than an enemy, I think. Russia played okay. I think that he just kind of got screwed by Italy's CD. The other countries kind of expanded and he wasn't so much able to.
Right. Now, I do want to ask you one thing about Russia's play, which I certainly can't give an unbiased opinion on, but I supported Gulf of Bothnia to Sweden 3 times in a row.
Yes, I actually
Um,
have that written down as something to
okay.
comment on. I was getting there.
All
I
right. I just want to
yeah.
make sure I wasn't the only one.
Yeah, I what did I write about that? Yeah, in the spring of 1903, he could have taken Sweden and probably held it from thereafter, I think.
Right.
There's really no reason to retreat to St. Petersburg. The only thing he has kind of in his favor is that usually you're not trusting England, and something I've done is supporting Russia into Sweden and then taking St. Petersburg while he's in Sweden. So maybe he was worried, but the fleet sitting in St. Petersburg does nothing. It's a dead unit. So it was definitely a mistake. I don't think it would have mattered too much. I mean, that extra build could have helped hold back Turkey, but I don't think it would have changed much.
And it would have also allowed me to take Denmark because it would have cut the Sweden support. I'll tell you, I was definitely kicking myself when I didn't just hit Sweden with Norway. That was really the beginning of the end for me, I feel.
Yeah, I don't know if that. Well, yeah, that's probably a mistake. If you're going to be making an attack like that, you're better off cutting support than hoping someone else does. Especially when he's made no indication that he's, going to help.
Right, right. I mean, he didn't take the support 2 previous times. Kind of shame on me for just
Yeah,
assuming
I mean, fool me
assuming he
once,
would.
shame on me. Fool me twice. I've got a bit to say about Italy. Italy's kind of one of my favorite countries, not necessarily best, just favorite, because I think it's got a lot of options that other countries don't. They mainly get divided into two different paths, the Lepanto options and the Attack Austria options. And with Gunboat, I think that attacking Austria, while it can work out, in general, I think it's a mistake, which leaves Turkey. And I think Turkey, while I would disagree with what he did in his builds in 1901 to 2, with building a fleet to attack Sevastopol, it worked for him, so I guess he was right. He definitely made gains, and Italy leaving the game only sped that up. He broke Russia, he broke Italy, he broke Austria, and if the game had gone on, he would have soloed, I'm pretty sure. If I were Turkey, even if I didn't think I could solo, I would have pulled back a bit and let Germany and France kill off England and Russia. I'd say that the turning point for England is the autumn of 1903, when you attack France. And the reason I have a problem with that is because not just 1 year ago, France had supported English Channel, support hold. You try to attack Brest, which doesn't work, and now you have Germany and France angry at you, and Russia clearly not either realizing you want to help him or wanting your help. So
So I will,
it's a failure to communicate.
since I'm in a position to defend myself, I will try to. I had intended on keeping peace with France because I did recognize the meaning of his support hold in the channel. And this, I think, was a case of, a lot of people don't compensate when there's a CD, and I think I overcompensated because I saw Italy go into CD, and I said to myself, oh my God, there is nobody to keep France from expanding wildly in the south. And I guess my hope was if I could sneak into Brest, I might be able to slow down his rapid expansion.
That's fair.
Obviously executed poorly. And honestly, thinking back on it, I wonder if I hadn't attacked him, if he would have just been happy to leave me alone and spend all of his effort going south.
I'd imagine so.
Definitely a bad tactical call on
Yes.
my part. No question. So joining us now is CSteinhardt back again. So do you want to give us some of your thoughts?
So yeah, so I actually thought that Turkey did several things which really just make no sense to me, and to some extent, I actually have more of a problem with them tactically. I mean, I'll give you a simple example, right? Winter 1901, Turkey gets a build. Clearly, from the build of Fleet Ankara, Turkey's decided that he's going to attack Russia, right? We know Russia cannot build a fleet in the south, so we know Turkey has the Black Sea permanently at this point. Is there any reason to put a fleet in Ankara?
There's not, and that is something I hadn't touched on, but it was written down that I was supposed to. And I think I think build decisions are something that some players struggle with, and building a fleet in Ankara really has really no positives, I don't think. So
Yeah, well, in this case, it certainly doesn't, because the only place the unit's going is Armenia, and an army in Armenia simply can do everything that the fleet can do plus more. Then Turkey decides to both attack Russia and go for Serbia.
With Russian support, as luck would have
yeah,
it.
that's something I didn't understand.
Sure. So Chaqa was very critical of Austria's play. Do you want to talk a little bit about what he did in this game?
Okay, well, so I think for the same reasons as in the last game we looked at, I really hate the fall 1901 moves. Basically, again, just a question of, look, you're in a bad spot, okay? The reality is Austria, if Italy wants a piece of you, Russia wants a piece of you, and Turkey wants a piece of you, you're going to be eliminated. With press, maybe you have some hope of finding a way out, but with no press, if all of your neighbors want a piece of you, you die. Having said that, I don't understand Albania's support Serbia to Greece. Just because I don't understand a way in which that move can really go right.
Right. So no chance at all that Italy divines the silent Key Lepanto and moves to Serbia.
My thinking on it was that maybe in a very high level tournament type structure, but no, not even then, probably. It's just not something that happens in Gunboat because there's no trust and there's no coordination. So it's just a bad move to even assume that's a possibility, especially in a live game, which this was.
Yeah, I mean, Italy. The other problem is that even sort of putting that Italian army in Serbia, really, if you want to run an effective alliance, that's not such a good move, right? A general principle of Gunboat is that moves that involve multiple powers cooperating on the same target are hard.
I think Russia's big mistake is after seeing the army build in Ankara, he then moves farther away from the Turkish front and tries to attack Germany. And that build should be a giveaway that Turkey's coming.
So Chaqa, any closing thoughts on this game from you?
If I was going to say best and worst play, let me go do that. I think the best play of the game is probably, and this is, maybe not impactful, but I think it's the way Germany played in 1902, where he knew he was going to have to deal with Russia and France, but he didn't want to fight England. So it's not really a single move, but I think that was a good play. And worst play is still the combined openings of Austria and Italy.
I think the main thing I would take away from this game is just a reminder that anytime you get yourself in a viable position, you should be thinking about 18 and how you're going to get there. And Turkey didn't. France and Germany actually really did think strategically here, and I think that's a big part of why they end up being the other two big powers at the end.
Chaqa and CSteinhardt, thank you both for taking the time to talk about this game. And thanks for watching.